tuhaririirie Inoro miaraho. Thirikari ya kaunti ya Kiambu kwambĩrĩria mũbango wa gũthomithia maafitha ũrigitani matũũra-inĩ.
Wanakuambia utoe simu, utoe pesa, wanafuliza. Kama una pesa, kama kuna pesa kidogo unapigwa mwili.
Sasa kama nikiwa naongea niko na risasi hiyo kwa mwili. Nimepigwa risasi, nimefanya operation juzi tu.
Matereba a marori gũkaya kumana na tharĩkĩra barabara-inĩ ya Isiolo gũthiĩ Moyale.
Kuna wanaume 5 wamekuja, tumewashika wakiwa wezi, wanajifanya wao watu wametumwa na Kenya Power. Hakuna Kenya Power kama hiyo, macho wa mama.
Na andũ atatũ gũikio ngono Kirinyaga metwĩte aruti wĩra a kambuni ya gũtambia thitima ya Kenya Power. Thengio muno amukira ngeithi mwiroreri wa Inoro TV ngehoka haria hothe uri ni urathie na mbere na gukungwira mambura maya mathi guku uri hamwe na andu a family kana arata aku o haria hothe uri gakwamukira mitambo-ini ya Inoro TV. Maya ni mohoro ma Inoro miaraho na nie njitagwo Gathoni wa Njihia, na tukwambĩrĩria kuria thiini wa bunge ya Senate kuria ni muthenya wa keri wa gĩikaro kĩa maseneta 11 aria marathuthuria maundu maria Governor Kawira Mwangaza acukĩirwo ni ma MCA a Meru aria meriga kumuhagura. Governor Kawira ni atemanitie wĩira wake na akaregana na thitango ciothe iria athitangĩirwo cia ũhũthĩri mũru wa wabici kuhe muthuri wake wĩra thiini wa thirikari ya county na mangĩ.
Thank you. Let's now look at video KM S20B.
Gavana ni mama ngeti.
Toka hapo wewe, toka hapo.
Hivyo ni ajabu sana kwa kuwa wamefunga hata fungueni.
Na mwiroreri macio no mamwe ma maria marathi na mbere kuhanika kuria thiini wa bunge ya Senate. No riboti ndaya ni tukuharirio ni mwiroreri witu wetagwo Wadia wa Muriithi. Tugithie na mbere ni ati matereba a marori barabara-ini nene ya Isiolo guthie Moyale ni marakaira thirikari kumateithura kumana na cieko cia gutharikirwo ni ekinae aria methaite na matharaita aria maramaiya na kumaguraria. Aria mahutitio ni mutino uyu wa uhaguku wa ugitiri ni matereba a ngari cia gukua mahiu, makiuga ekinae aya aria marekwirwo gukorwo mari a ruriri rwa Samburu ni mamagagitie o kuigana.
Kiambĩrĩrio-inĩ gĩa kiumia gĩkĩ taũni-inĩ ya Marsabit, matereba rori ici cia gũkua mahiũ marugamĩte gũkũ nĩ gwĩtigĩra thabarĩ ya gũtuĩkania barabara nene ya gũthiĩ Isiolo, kũrĩa marauga ciiko cia gũtharĩkĩrwo nĩ ekinaĩ ciehĩrĩirie.
Mpaka sasa tuko na shida. Sijui nini imebadilika. Zamani unapewa escort mpaka huko Achas. Sasa nasikia imebadilika. Ndio tunaumia kwa barabara. Ng'ombe inakufa, ngamia, mbuzi iko karibu gari 30 iko hapa.
Tharĩkĩra ici ciakĩrĩirie makĩria gatagatĩ ka handũ hetagwo Achas Post na Merire, makiuga ekinaĩ aya arĩa maratuĩka nĩ a rũrĩrĩ rwa Thamburu maronoreria mahiũ maya ngari-inĩ ingĩ na gwĩthara namo.
Kwanza wakiona gari ya ng'ombe inabidi watu wanapiga risasi mingi mpaka wanaua dereva. Kama huyu mmoja mwenye alipigwa risasi ni rafiki yangu. Sasa imekuwa hiyo barabara ipitiki, hatuna amani.
Iko shifta kwa barabara bana, hii ya Samburu. Inaumesha bana, inashukisha ng'ombe inachukua. Hiyo ndio shida. Unaambia fungua gari yako kama ni trailer inashukisha unaenda naye. Sasa wewe una wezi wengine inachukulia ukiona.
Amwe yao aria magereire kageri-ini gaka magitariria ruo ruria matungitio ni ekinae aya aria methaite na mishinga na ona wakororori yaku ti mahiu ikuite matirakureka uthie oro uguo.
Mimi kama kwanza sasa kama nikiwa naongea niko na risasi hiyo kwa mwili. Nimepigwa risasi, nimefanya operation juzi tu, hata imeshindikana kutolewa, hata hadi sasa iko kwa mwili yangu.
Hata kama hujabeba ng'ombe, kama umebeba mzigo mwingine ya kawaida, bado hao shift wa Samburu wako hapo. Wanapiga risasi, unasimama, wanakuambia utoe simu, utoe pesa, wanafuliza. Kama una pesa, kama kuna pesa kidogo unapigwa mwili.
Makaya ma matereba ya kuri thirikari ni kuya ikinya ria naihenya gucokia ugitiri barabara-ini ino makiendekithia maabitha a borithi aria makoretwo makiiga ugitiri macokererie.
Security ikuwe tight kwa barabara. Sasa kwanza ni wakati mwaka mpya tunaelekea. Sasa barabara hata si mzuri, tunafaa kuwa na security vizuri.
Alithi kaunti-ini ya Marsabit kuria kuri na ng'aragu nene ni mahutitio na njira nene wikina yoyo kuona makoretwo magikuwa mahiu mao maria matigaririire mamaroretie kaunti-ini ya Isiolo gwetha gia kuria kuona guku ni gukoretwo na mbura. Ngiribotera Inoro TV retore kwani wa Ngui wa Mwangi.
Nagutumukete gicajama itura-ini ria Kiandae dia kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga thutha wa andu atatu kuhofanirio ni muingi metwete aruti wira a kambuni ya thitima ya Kenya Power. Aruti wira acio a maigirira maranyitirwo magikora ikingi cia thitima na kurutania waya na gutiga aikari ndumaine ta uria Winnie Kimani aratariria.
Ciĩragwo cia mũici nĩ 40 na ya 40 ya ekuirwo atatu irakinyĩria itura-inĩ rĩa Kiandae kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga kuria gikundi kia andu atano kirarokete gituĩte aruti wĩra a kambuni ya Kenya Power.
Kuna wanaume watano wamekuja, tumewashika wakiwa wezi, wanajifanya wao watu wametumwa na Kenya Power. Hakuna Kenya Power kama hiyo, macho wa mama.
Ekuirwo acio maranjirie na gukura ikingi cia thitima, kurutania waya na gutiga ikari amwe ndumaine.
Tumeshika wezi wanaimba hii vikingi ya stima. Sasa hii walikuwa wameimba zaidi ya vikingi 5 na wametoa waya, wengine wameficha. Tumewashika wakiwa 5 lakini 2 wameweza kupotea.
Na kuona uyu ni mutugore yumba kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga aikari marekirira nganja na mamori ibandi cia wira marambiririe kumahe itumi ngurani na hau maranyitwo kumbacu.
Kimuuliza iko wapi ID ya kasi? Sina, sijui yangu nilifua, sijui yangu nilifanya. Mwingine anasema nimepewa kimbalua nitafute.
Na hao watu wametuharibu sio leo. Wamefanya kazi pande ya juu, wametoa mawaya.
Eriao marahota gwithara no watatu maraikio ngono na mbere ya maneanitwo moko-ini ma borithi a ceceni ya Farisho marambire kurugamirirwo macoke ikingi na waya iria marakũranitie.
Watanjua leo tunataka wapanda vikingi alafu tuwafuatishe mbele na gari sawa sitatoka pale kama wanjamaliza kasi na stima si wake.
Warudisha hiyo stima mpaka iwake alafu tuwafuate na wapeleka polisi.
Aikari ni mataririe hathara iria makoretwo magitungio kuona turia nime tukoretwo tukimetia mbeca cia kumacokeria ikingi iria twakura.
Tuangaisha sana, hata siku nyingine wameniibia kikingi yangu. Mimi nimeenda kununua kikingi, nikatafuta contractor akanirudishia stima. Walitundanganya, wanakuja wanajifanya Kenya Power amewatuma. Wanaimba vikingi wanaenda na
tumekasirika watu wa Kagati juu ya ile matendo tumefanyiwa na watu wakingifanya ni wa stima. Wametoa token, watu wengine wanakaa bila stima na waliwekewa.
Komanda wa borithi wa Dia Moses Koskei ni ekirite uhoro ucio mukonde akiuga ngari ire marahuthagira ni kururitio o nginyagia ceceni-ini ya borithi ya Farisho kuria ekwirwo acio mahingiritwo na aria maretharire ni megwethanwo nao. Handu-ini ha Inoro TV njitagwo Winnie Kimani wa Mungai.
Na turio kuu Kirinyaga ni ati ikuũ cia ciana cia tũkenge thibitari-inĩ nene ya Kirogo ya kaunti-inĩ ino ya Kirinyaga ni ciikũrũkĩte na kuma gĩcunjĩ kĩa 22% mwaka wa 2013 nginyagia gĩcunjĩ kĩa 8% kuringana na arigitani. Mogarũrũku maya maumanĩte na wĩrutĩri wa rũhonge rwa ũrigitani kaunti-inĩ ino kuria thirikari ya Gavana Anne Waiguru ihotete gukinyanĩria waki wa ceceni ya gũtungatĩra tũkenge iria ĩrĩ na ũhoti wa gũtangĩkĩra tũkenge 200 o mwaka. Boni wa Thuku arĩ na riboti makĩria.
Ici nĩ imwe cia ciana iria irathi na mbere na gũtangĩkĩrwo ceceni-inĩ ya mwanya ya ciana cia tũkenge thibitarĩ-inĩ wa Kĩrũgũya. Nyingĩ cia ciana iria iciarĩtwo mbere ya ihinda rĩrĩa rĩagĩrĩire, iria irahonia ironda thutha wa surgery, hamwe na ũritũ wa thĩ gatagatĩ-inĩ ka mathĩna mangĩ.
Twĩna macini cia gũtũnyitĩrĩra, macini iria itumaga mahihie na ikagiria mahũri mao corrupt, magaikara marĩ mahingũku, tukahota kũgĩa na oxygen ya kũtũigana. Na tuonete nĩ ũndũ wa macini icio ciana icio ikĩneneha igakũra. Ta rĩu thaa ici twĩna kana gaciarirwo na gram 600 gakĩgũithia nginya 450, na rĩu nĩ gakũrĩte nginya nĩ gakũinũka ũmũthĩ.
Mũrũgamĩrĩri mũnene ceceni-inĩ no agĩtarĩria atĩ ceceni ĩno ĩna ũhoti wa gũtangĩkĩra nginyagia ciana 40 harĩ ihinda rĩmwe, kuona atĩ ĩna macini iria irabataranagia ta incubator na macini cia gũteithĩrĩria ciana kũhuhia.
Na twana tũingĩ like 60 harĩ 100 nĩ tũdevelopaga Judis, na nĩ tũhotete kũmathondeka nĩ twĩna macini ithondekaga twana tũu na ĩkagirĩrĩria hakiri ciao ithũke na tũkahota kũmathondeka wega.
Aciari arĩa ciana ciao ikoretwo ikiamũkĩra ũteithio ceceni-inĩ no thutha wa mathĩna ma mwĩrĩ kwĩyumĩria, rĩu makĩremwo nĩ kũhitha gĩkeno kĩao.
Mwana ũcio ndarabingũragia metho, ndararĩraga, ũrĩa tũcara tũikarire, no rĩu ndĩrona gĩkia tũcara nĩ tũrang'ang'ana nake, nĩ ndĩrona nĩ arabingũra metho, akandora, akarĩra wega, nĩ ndĩrona nĩ ara-improve.
Kũringana na arigitani thibitarĩ-inĩ wa Kĩrũgũya, namba ikuũ cia tũkenge nĩ ĩthiĩte thĩ na kuma gĩcunjĩ kĩa 22 harĩ 100, namba ĩrĩa yandĩkithĩtio mwaka-inĩ wa 2013 nginyagia gĩcunjĩ kĩa 8 harĩ 100 kwa ihinda rĩrĩ, magĩtũgĩria wĩrutĩri wa thirikari ya kaunti ĩno harĩ kũgacĩrithia motungata ma ũrigitani ũyũ.
Ciana ici nĩ ikorwo ikĩhota gũkorwo na skin to skin attachment, yani mwana ũcio akorwo nĩ arahota gũkorwo na that body ya nyina. Akorwo ndarahota gũfeed, tukamuonia ũrĩa gũfeed mwana. Akorwo arafeed na NG tube, that is the nasogastric tube, tukamuonia ũrĩa gũfeed, tukamuonia ũrĩa tukamusupport in feeding. Tugacoka akorwo nĩ arenda kũmũthambia, tukamuonia ũrĩa kũmũruta thĩinĩ wa kangaroo akamũ-clean. Handũ-inĩ ha Inooro TV kuma Kĩrũgũya kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga, njĩtagwo Boni wa Thuku.
Thirikari ya kaunti ya Kiambu nĩ yambĩrĩirie mũbango wa gũthomithia maabitha ũrigitani matũũra-inĩ nĩguo gũteithĩrĩria gũkinyanĩria mũbango wa ũrigitani wa UHC. Maabitha arĩa marathomithio nĩ agũthomithia mũingĩ bata wa kũgirĩrĩria mĩrimũ handũ ha kũhonia. Aya nĩ amwe a maabitha arĩa mamũkĩrĩte mathomo ma ũrigitani kaunti-inĩ ya Kiambu, itemi-inĩ rĩa gũteithĩrĩria mũingĩ gũkorwo na ũmenyereri wa kwĩgitĩra kumana na mĩrimũ ĩmwe. Maabitha aya mararũgamĩrĩra ward 60 cia kaunti ya Kiambu na kuona marĩ na ũmenyo wa motungata marĩa maheanagwo thibitarĩ-inĩ itiganĩte, marĩkoragwo na itemi inene harĩ kũnyitithania mũrwaru na thibitarĩ.
The community kana Wanjikũ wa Kiambu nĩ egũkorwo na more information, koguo nĩ arĩmenyaga ũrĩa kũrendekana thibitarĩ, kĩrĩa gũtarĩ, na makahota kwaranĩria. Twamenya mathĩna marĩa me community-inĩ rĩ, nao magacoka magagĩtwĩra marĩa me thibitarĩ-inĩ rĩ, tugakorwo na linkage. Koguo nĩ tũrĩhotaga kwandĩka angĩkorwo nĩ issue ya attitude, kana hiyo koma ndagĩtarĩ maitũ nĩngĩ maragĩũka macereirwo, kana hihi nĩ community maraga gũka thibitarĩ, that community linkage nĩ gũtũteithia.
Na tondũ wĩra wao nĩ manyũmba-inĩ mĩciĩ-inĩ ya andũ, our CHVs mathiaga mĩciĩ-inĩ ya andũ, that is their reporting station, nĩ mahotaga kũmenya mũndũ ena mũrimũ mũna, na mũrimũ ũyũ rĩ ndũngĩhota gũthondekerwo facility ĩno tondũ nĩ moyo facility ĩofaga what services.
Ningĩ nĩo marĩkoragwo marĩ maitho na matũ ma mũingĩ, nĩgetha rĩrĩa mũingĩ ũrĩ na mateta megiĩ motungata marĩa maraheanwo mathibitarĩ-inĩ magakinyĩria honge iria ciagĩrĩire.
Makinya thibitarĩ akamũbuatĩrĩra, nĩ athondekwo erwo agacoka rĩ, koguo nĩ akũhota kũmũbuatĩrĩra. Mũndũ ũcio at the same time through the scorecard nĩ akũhota kuga atĩ ndathiĩ thibitarĩ, ndatũmwo nĩ CHV, ndathiĩ thibitarĩ, ũtungata ũrĩa heirwo nĩ ABCD, nĩ ngenire mũno, harĩa hatanangenia nĩ haha, tũgacoka oro kũu tukoga ũndũ ũtanatũkenia nĩ ũyũ.
Na ũthiĩ uge itũra rĩakwa kana thibitarĩ ĩno itũ ndĩna mathĩna ta maya, ndoka thibitarĩ-inĩ mathĩna makwa ndiragitĩrwo ũrĩa njagĩrĩire. Koguo niĩ nĩ ngwĩrwo ta CHA na ni ngota ukinyia uhoro ucio kuri munene wa thibitari iyo na uhoro ucio tukuhota kurora kwa njira ya thiini tumenya niki kiratuma murwaru uyu oka ndakaheo services iro yagirire.
Gũtabania cikaro cia mũingĩ cia kũheana mathomo megiĩ ũgima wa mwĩrĩ nĩ ũmwe wa maũndũ marĩa maabitha ũgima wa mwĩrĩ matũũra-inĩ matabanagia nĩguo gũthomithia na kũngania mawoni ma mũingĩ.
For example, akorwo nĩ mũrimũ wa kũharwo nĩgetha ũke facility ũkoragwo umĩte community-inĩ na koguo facility ĩna case ĩmwe ya korera nĩ kũhota empower that community maũndũ-inĩ ma ũtheru na maũndũ-inĩ ma ũgima wa mwĩrĩ hamwe na andũ arĩa marutaga rũhonge-inĩ rwa health na nĩgetha tũka make sure that overall the facility has done its work, the government has done its work, and the community has embraced the community health service.
Na in those community dialogue days nĩ kũrĩ andũ acio takwĩra community health committee rĩngĩ we mũtongoria wa youth kana we cifo kana he ũndũ ũrũgamĩrĩire atumia koguo macamania nĩ mekũhota kwarĩrĩria mathĩna marĩa mekũu na tũrĩroraga data kũringana na ũrĩa maroka thibitarĩ-inĩ maya nĩmo mathĩna maitũ nĩkĩ kĩramarehe tũngĩhota gwĩka atĩa.
Uthiete na mbere na kwirorera mohoro ma Inoro miaraho thie na mbere na guikarania na ithuĩ kwa ihinda rĩrĩ twambe twĩkĩrie o hanini tu no nĩ tũracokereria ndagĩka itarĩ kũraihu.
Ihinda rĩngĩ rĩa gũkũngũĩra gũciarwo gwake gaitũ Jesu Kristo twacokerie Ngai ngatho nĩ gũtũhe mwaka mũgima wĩna irathimo na tũkĩrĩanĩra mambura-inĩ maya ma Christmas tũririkane kũgayana na arĩa matarĩ. Njĩtagwo Mũriki wa Mũcoki kuma metha ya mohoro ya Inoro TV ngakwendithĩria thigũkũ njega ya Christmas ĩna umithio na gĩkeno.
This December. Drama.
Have you told them about your marriage? I'm gonna send my flying kiss to you.
Romance.
I love you so much.
Comedy.
Look at this one. Unacheka na una meno mbili.
Music and so much more.
Kambuni ya Roiro Mabati Factory nĩ ĩmwe ya thondeki njũru a mabati ma kũgita nyũmba. Tũthondekaga mabati mĩthemba mĩingĩ na ma gĩkĩro kĩa igũrũ marĩa matũraga ihinda iraihu na magathakaria mũgitĩre wa nyũmba yaku makĩria. Mabati maya metagwo box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile na mangĩ maingĩ na mokaga na marangi maingĩ ngũrani. Mabati maitũ nĩ metiragia mbura nene na riũa rĩhiũ na koguo makagĩrĩra nyũmba cia biacara na cia gũikarwo. Nĩguo gwetia oda yaku tucerere showroom-inĩ itũ mwena wa Roiro Town na no tucerere rũrenda-inĩ rwitũ nĩruo www.roiromabati.co.ke kana ũkenerere ũtungata wa kũreherwo mabati maku harĩ ũrĩ gwa kahinda ka mathaa 72 tu. Roiro Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Ĩno nĩ ndũmĩrĩri ya supermarket ya Broti ĩrĩa kwa marĩtwa ĩtagwo Optiven. Wabatara ng'ũndũ Kiambu, Thika, Gatanga Road, Kitengela, Nanyuki, Malindi, Nyeri, Naivasha, Konza, ona kana Kisumu. Optiven tũrĩ na projects harĩrie wega icigo-inĩ ici ciothe. Na to ũguo tu, nĩ amu thĩinĩ wa supermarket ino ya Broti no wĩgĩre kĩndũ from as low as 149,000. Tũhũrĩre thimũ kũhĩtũkĩra 0790 300 300.
Shabiki.com inakuletea the first ever Premier League's jackpot in Kenya. Predict mechi 6 kutoka ligi kuu duniani kwa kutumia shilingi 8 tu uweze kushinda 100,000 shillings kila siku. 6 Premier League's games. Cheza na 8 ball. Shinda 100k daily. Tuma neno PJP kwa 29063 or visit shabiki.com to play. Not for persons under the age of 18. Betting can be addictive. Play responsibly. Shabiki.com is authorized and regulated by the BCLB. License number 416. Shabiki.com.
Christmas ino
The SEDI developers marenda wigire kiheo takariganirwo nikio maragwitira Broti Prime cia 40/80 Muthara hakuhe Thika town na cia kilomita 1 tu kuma Muthara Primary School na urenderio na ciringi 750. Ino ni Christmas offer. Ta imagine Broti ya 40/80 Muthara na ciringi 750 a Christmas offer. O Broti ina ready title deed no go transfer. Wariha ukaneo title deed yaku na thiko mugwanja. Site visit ni o muthenya. Ko book site visit SMS kiugo Muthara kuri 23934 o ringi tuma kiugo Muthara kuri 23934. Wihike ndukahitũkwo nĩ offer ya Christmas.
Kwamukira o ringi mitambo-ini tuthie na mbere na gukumenyithia mundu umwe ni akuite na wangi makagurara thutha wa bathi ya kambuni ya Modern Coast kugwa ruini rwa Nyakomisora tauni-ini ya Kisii. Kuringana na OCPD wa gicigo gia Kisii ya gatagati, uyu umwe ukuire ni kimwana kiria kiguthirwo ni bathi ino iria yambire kwegega thutha wa gutua breki mbere ya igwite ruini ru. Gukinyiria riu matigari ma bathi ino ni mareketie kurutwo ruini ruru na gutwarwo ceceni-ini ya borithi ya Kisii, na aria magurarire maramukira urigiti thibitari-ini nene ya Kisii. Ciana igere ni ikwete na ingi igatigwo na nguraro thutha wa kuhurwo ni nduthuki iria marathakaga nayo makirithia handu hetagwo Lemunyek Tiati kaunti-ini ya Baringo. Nduthuki ino iratuika yaya gukorwo yatigirwo ni maabitha a mbiraro a KDF aria merutagira wira guku, na kuona tirita ria mbere mutino ta uyu kuoneka, atongoria kuma gicigo giki ni matetete makienda maabitha aya a mbiraro mehere mihango yao kuu.
Wale vijana walikuwa nao wakasema waliokota na wakalete, alafu kisha baadaye wakagonga. Walijaribu kuwacha kidogo, wakaona kwa nini wamewacha, na huenda walikuwa wanataka ni kama kuna vile walikuwa wanataka kufanya, so wakagonga, lakini kwa kweli hao KDF wanafanya training hapa.
Serikali hii ya county, serikali ya national iweze kuona kwamba mambo ya KDF hatutaki tena katika area hii. Kule mkitu amane tunasimama hapa, kuna mali wanafanyia shooting, mkiangalia ile mlima kuna mali nyeupe, kuna hizo vitu nyeupe unaona hapo, wanashoot kuanzia hapa, wanapiga kule risasi na wanaacha hizo vitu, inaacha hapo. Watoto ambao wanachunga wanyama wanakuja hapo, wanaokota hizo vitu na watoto wanapoteza maisha.
Lazima tupate records yote, ndio tuambie hii watu wakuja warokote vitu vyao na walipe hii familia wameumia.
Gikundi kia abunge kuma ithwiro ria bururi riu marenda President William Ruto aigirire ndugamano iria irethegea gatagati ka munini wa President Rigathi wa Gachagua na gavana wa Nairobi Johnson Sakaja. Ari hamwe na mubunge wa Westlands Timothy Wanyonyi na John Waluke wa Sirisia, abunge aya ni makumithitie Gachagua makiuga arenderera maundu maria marahutia andu a gitaru kia Mount Kenya.
Every time he's saying, oh, this is now for Kikuyus, this is now ours. Why is he the deputy president? Just in case he has a good friend, he should be reminded that he is not a Kikuyu deputy president. He is supposed to make sure that he throws all eyes across Kenya and makes sure that every tribe in Kenya is inclusive in his vision.
We are going to make some changes which people have been laughing at us. We had become a laughing stock. But this time, I can assure you to watch that something is going to happen. that our unity will remain, and it is going to be paramount for the region.
Ona gutuika mwaka uyu ndwagite moritu maguo rekega turumega giciaro tugayane kiria kinini turi nakio na andu akuru aria mari na mawathe o hamwe na aria hinyiririku na uguo nyiri kuma metha-ini ya mohoro ya Inoro TV njitagwo Wanjiku wa Kimani na ngakwendithiria thigũkũ njega ya Merry Christmas.
We are here to equip you for the marketplace. We offer masters, bachelors, diploma and certificate programs in the schools of ICT, media, engineering, education, arts and social sciences, and business and economics. The vibrant student experience, ultra-modern facilities and dedicated faculty will give you that cutting-edge advantage. Enroll for our January 2023 intake. ZTech University. Invent your future.
Goko kwa Alpha Mabati, we customer wito we wafata muno na nikio tuguthondekagira mabati makugita nyumba yaku magikiro kia iguru. Edito ria muhigireire wira-ini wao makwendagiria kiria kiagirire ni undu wa kiria urenda kugita kuringana na mithemba itungurani ya mabati iria tukoragwo nayo. Wicagurire kuma mithemba ya marangi matiganite na muigana wa ibati riria urenda niguo honokie mbeca ukigita. Nitui ati mahinda ni mbeca na nikio tugukinyagiria kiria urenda oro haria uri guothe bururi-ini na mathaa 22 tutegũkũrĩhia. Tukoragwo Northern Bypass hakuhĩ na KU Referral Hospital na rĩu twina rũhonge rwerũ Nyeri Town kũng'ethanĩra na Toyota Kenya. Alpha Mabati, the roofing industry bearing us.
Winning on Shabiki.com is getting easier. Enjoy highly boosted odds on Shabiki.com. Kuwa Shabiki. Play now. Not for persons under the age of 18. BCLB number 416. Shabiki.com.
Deakin College. Ino noyo college yemwe tu Kenya ngima ikoragwe specialized na kothi cia beauty and fashion hamwe na hospitality. Undu uria utumite mehoko muno ni aciari kothi-ini cia hoteli hamwe na uthaka. Nake murutwo thomeire Deakin College ni ari ngurani na kugwetherwo attachment ni guarantee tondu niguo thukuru na aciari marikanagira. Macerere campus iria ri hakuhi nawe ta Kiambu, Juja, Naikuru, Githurai 45, Mwiki Town, Deakin Plaza na campus ya Ojeruka wa Gware 46 iguru ria fegi ya Cooperative. Mahurire thimu namba 0720160640.
Deakin College, training beyond the obvious.
Training beyond the obvious.
Unga nyororo kwa ugali moto keto kwa masonko basi unga ni gani niambie ni gani unga ni gani kama suraha dunia.
Mimi ni Bahati, walinijua kama mtoto wa mama, siku hizi wananiita mtoto wa Kafagara. Ni unga nyororo, nyeupe, inanukia na inapatikana kote nchini. Kwa raha ya familia natumia unga wa Raha Premium.
Tugetekere kuiga muturire waku hatikaini gukuo ni ndereva utare na uigiririki ni ugwati munene muno na nikio Petans Driving School and Computer College turi muhari wa mbere kufundithia utereva wina uigiririki.
Masomo yamebobea.
Weyandikithia Petans uravundithio utereva o hamwe na plant operator course ni qualified instructors mahetũkĩtio ni NTSA ukafundithio road safety skills, first aid training na oho computer packages tugatigĩrĩra ni watuĩka a competent digital driver wina uigĩrĩrĩki wa vara. Thimũ nĩ 0721328383. Petans Kenya ni turamwendithĩria thigũkũ njega na mwaka mwerũ wina umithio.
tutirikanĩtie.
Ndienda kwaria nawe. Ikara haraihu nanie.
Ndĩraria ũhoro wa thauti ĩyo ũrahũthĩra kũnjarĩria. Rĩmwe we ũndaraga ta mũrata, ũkanjĩra nginya rĩmwe njikare haraihu mũno na imwana. Ta njĩra nĩkĩ ũreka thaa ici? Nĩkĩ ũretua ũtarĩ wanyona?
Gakwamukira rege mitambo-ini mwiroreri tuthie na mbere na mohoro. Thirikari ya kaunti ya Vihiga ni yoretio yake kundu gwa kuramata unduire wa ndurire ngurani iria iri kaunti-ini ino. Kuringana na ikari, kaunti ino iri na utonga mwingi wa nyimbo cia unduire, mathaga, matonyo na indo ingi iria ingituika kiguciririo kinene kuri agendi na kirehere kaunti ino besha. Wangari Maria wa Muigana niwe wina riboti ino.
Mabura maukungwiri wa muthi wa unduire kaunti-ini ya Vihiga uhubitwo riri ni nyimbo cia kinduire, acikui megemetie na mihumbire ya tene, kuria matonyo maingi mathondeketwo kuma kuri njũa cia nyamu itiganite na njoya cia mithemba ngũrani ya nyoni ona nginya macoya ma marigu. Aikari aya magitariria mathaga, indo cia wira ona matharaita matiganite ma bara maria mahuthikaga miaka ya tene. Oho mithemba itiganite ya irio cia kinduire hamwe na ciari nyeni cia kimerera iria aikari maugite iri na moguni maingi kuri ugima wa mwiri, no indi kwaga umenyo kwa njiarwa cia mahinda maya gutumite irio ici citeanirio.
Tukiwa tumeleta hizi na kuwaonyesha, mtu anaweza jua bila anaumia.
Culture ya ukweli, na mimi pia na gavana tumekula ile chakula cha kienyeji, tukaongeza mkomero. Hata mimi saa hizi mambo yangu hapa imeharibika. Kwa hivyo tumefurahia hiyo culture.
Hakiri uguo, thirikari ya kaunti ino irorio ithondeke kundu kwa monanio na gwa kuramatira unduire uyu niguo kuutambiria kuri njiarwa.
Kusema kwamba bwana gavana, next year tunataka hii culture ikuwe kubwa zaidi, na tuchukue kama siku 2 watoto wetu wakuja wajifunze, sisi wenyewe tukae hapa tushinde na nyinyi. Kwa hivyo mimi kama seneta wenu ninakubaliana na hiyo. Mnaweza ongeza mgao wa pesa, budget, kwa hii shughuli ya culture ndio ikuwe kubwa kabisa.
Oho maugite monanio maya no marehere kaunti no besa kuhetukira ugendi.
So naenda kuhakikisha kwamba mwaka ijayo tutabadilisha, na kama kaunti tumesema we are also going to change cultural festival at the county. Tutakuwa na county festival ambayo itahusisha all the 5 counties na itachukua siku 3 ama 4 kulingana na vile tutazipanga.
Ona kuri uguo muingi wa kaunti ino ni urathingatwo teanirio mawitikio mamwe muingi wa kaunti ino no na kuri uguo muingi wa kaunti ino ni urathingatwo teanirio mawitikio mamwe ma unduire maria makoragwo mari muhinga kuri uthii wa na mbere. Gerifotera Inoro TV, Getu Wangari Maria wa Muigana.
Tugethie na mbere riri ndereti igi inegene ria irabu ikoretwo ikiariririo na hinya muingi ni muingi hamwe na atongoria aikari a Mirema kaunti-ini ya Nairobi mari gatagati-ini ka aria makoretwo makirarakwo ni inegene ria irabu. Ene nyumba cia gukomborithia nao makoretwo magitara hathara kumana na thama ya kombori iria iracungiririo ni inegene ria irabu. Na ta uria Wanjiku wa Kimani aratariria riboti-ini ino ya mwanya, ona President William Ruto ni erigite kunyita baru ikinya ria kunina inegene riri.
Mweri muhetũku thirikari ya kaunti ya Nairobi ni arutire notithi ya kuhinga irabu 43 iria ikuhĩrĩirie cikaro-inĩ cia mũingĩ na itũra rĩa Mirema nĩ gatagati wa kũrĩa kuorotetwo nĩ thirikari nĩ ũndũ wa inegene ikĩrĩku rĩrĩa riumaga irabu-inĩ icio. Thirikari ya Nairobi yatacokirie ikinya rĩrĩ kumana na mateta megiĩ inegene rĩrĩ makĩria mathaa-inĩ ma ũtukũ mĩthenya ya wikendi.
Kuja kushika sisi haina shida, waendelee tu, wacha Sakaja afanye kazi yake.
Itora rĩrĩ rĩkuhanĩrĩirie na matura ma Roysambu na Zimmerman na nĩrĩo rĩa thutha gũkũra na gĩkĩro kĩnene harĩ matura macio. Na torĩa ũrona haha kĩrabu thutha wa kĩngĩ iria irahingũrwo o mũthenya na irabu nene tũratara itinyihĩire 8.
Itura rĩrakoretwo arĩ itura rĩa thayũ, kũndũ quiet, kũndũ andũ mainvestĩte mbeca nyingĩ mũno makagĩa na mĩciĩ mĩega ta ĩno ũrona gũkũ, mena ĩmu ya gũkĩrera ciana ciao, gũkĩhurũka kuo, mũndũ hwaĩ-inĩ oima wĩra-inĩ agoka kũruta gũkĩhurũka. Tondũ kahinda karĩa biacara yaku ĩgũka ĩkoraga yakwa na njĩra nguhĩ nĩ ciana ciakwa ũratunya gĩa kũrĩa.
Haha nũgamĩte nĩ barabara ĩtuĩkanĩtie kuma itũra-inĩ rĩa Roysambu nginyagia Mirema, na mwena ũyũ ũrona nĩ andũ megũrĩire manyũmba ona angĩ makeyakĩra, naguo mwena ũrĩa nĩ andũ makomborete manyũmba, na tũgĩthiũrũrũka mwena ũyũ ũngĩ kĩrĩa ũrona nĩ kĩrabu. No gwakinya mathaa ma ũtukũ mbica ĩkoragwo ĩngũrani handũ haha nĩ gũkorwo mwena ũmwe ũkoragwo ũgĩthondeka mbeca, nayo mĩena ĩno yerĩ andũ makoragwo makĩũrwo nĩ toro. Mbica ĩno tũrakuonia haha ĩhũrĩirwo kuma dirisha-inĩ ya nyũmba ya Sweet Rose Nyanjara akionereria kũrĩa inegene riumaga.
Wanatupigia kelele, wanatusumbua sana sana ikifika wakati wa kuanzia Friday mpaka on Sunday usiku hatulali, na wengine wetu ni Wakristo, tunasumbuliwa, hauna time ya hata kukuwa na time na Mungu wako juu wakati unaanza kuomba ndio sasa kelele zao zinazidi, wanaweka kelele soundproof zao ni kama hazifanyi kazi, wanatupigia kelele, wanatusumbua, hatuna amani. Roysambu hatuna amani, security imekuwa chini kwa sababu hiyo kelele yao inafanya hauwezi jua kama kuna jirani anaibiwa, kama kuna mtu amekufa ama kuna danger yoyote imetokea juu ya hiyo kelele zao.
Shemania na Charity Njoroge mũkomborithia wa nyũmba agĩtarĩria ũrĩa inegene rĩa irabu mathaa-inĩ ma ũtukũ rĩmũingatĩire aikari makĩria famĩlĩ iria irĩ na ciana.
We are losing biacara nyingĩ mũno tondũ nyũmba ikoimwo yoimwo ũkahaka rangi ũgathondeka, ũrĩa ũngĩoka ningĩ akaigua inegene athiĩ ningĩ no gũthondeka nyũmba ĩyo, koguo nĩ tũrathiĩ hathara mũno, na thirikari no ĩrenda tũrĩhe igoti no tũrarĩha, na rĩu waga tenant rĩ nyũmba ĩyo ndĩrĩ na mũndũ.
Imwe cia nyũmba gũkũ nĩ njerũ no nĩ ũndũ wa inegene, imwe itirĩ ciona akombori, ingĩ nacio irathamwo o mũthenya.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba tu kama inawezekana kelele zipunguzwe ama hiyo kitu tuondolewe kwa sababu haitusaidii sisi.
Tutirauga ati andũ aya matuĩke to an extent ati nĩ makũhingũrwo irabu ciao, no control tondũ as much as possible they are earning, nĩ maani mbia nyingĩ na nĩ contribute to the economy ya bũrũri, but at the end of the day okay they create a good environment ya neighborhood na surrounding.
Athuri aya erĩ marĩ na nyũmba cia gũkomborithia koti-inĩ ĩno, na rĩu kĩrĩa marerorera nĩ mũthithũ wa ũrĩa maigithĩtio matukũ-inĩ ma thutha ũkĩaga gũkinyanĩra nĩ ũndũ wa ũrĩa maraheo notithi cia gũthamwo nĩ akombori.
Tondũ andũ arĩa aingĩ me mĩena ĩno mũndũ akoragwo akĩte nyũmba yake ya gũikara na agaka nyũmba ya gũkomborithia. Kwĩna nyũmba cia 4 bedrooms cia gũkomborithia, kwĩngĩ cia 3 bedrooms, 2 bedroom na imwe apartments. Na nyũmba icio rĩu nĩcio andũ acio makĩinvestĩte, o mũndũ agĩkorwo akĩgĩa na earnings ciake thĩinĩ wa investment ciake. No rĩu off late tuge especially mwaka ũyũ na mwaka ũrarĩ ho, nyũmba nyingĩ andũ makoretwo magĩthama, kana mũndũ aikarĩte hau no akorwo tenant aikarĩte mĩaka 5-6 nĩ gwakinya handũ iga rĩu ndihota kũrerera ciana ici haha anymore. ona ni ndihota kuruta wira tondu health yakwa ni compromise ni inegene ukona andu makiumania na guthama.
Kuringana na watho wa NEMA, kirabu gibati kugitira inegene ritiko imeja na kuria githimi kia inegene kiria gibati gukorwo nginyagia irabu-ini kuo thiini.
Tondu na kindu gitagwo NEMA ona kiugaga ni kuranegenwo matire meka kindu gitagwo public participation. Ona matire matuikaria thi kana tukamenyana o niwe witagwo ng'ani o niwe witagwo ng'ani.
No riu akomborithia amwe marauga ni marathondeka nyumba ciao na njira ya kugitira inegene ritikaingire manyumba thiini. Itanya niguo matigate akomborithia.
Tariu uri oroimire recently arahurire thimu na ikarite kuu miaka mingi muno, aranjira twana twake na titunene turamwiraga tutikomaga na ni twana tunini na turaigua inegene. Riu nona ndangigikara kuu
guothe irabu iroka thiini wa residence cieherio uhoro wa uko kirabu kiroka gikahandwo kuria andu maikaraga. Ngoria atiriri andu mundu agoka ukagekira kirabu hau ri we kuria ikaraga ri no ende mundu oke amuhuragire inegene hau all night long agikaga mawagani. The point ni ati ni mundu roima kundu deliberately na bata wa guthi guthukia.
Inegene riu nirio ritumite ene nyumba a Mirema manyitane na kuiguithaniria kwambika cira igoti-ini niguo guthitanga ene irabu thutha wa mageria ma gucemania nao maiguithanirie uhoro wa inegene kuringa ihiga.
Aria angi makarega guka makapuuza na ni undu wa uguo ni marikitie gutwarwo igoti-ini ritagwo Environment and Land Court iria ikuria High Court Nairobi.
Koguo ni turahoya uteithio muno kuri aria mangihota gututeithiriria na manegene macio. Oko ni baicio makirwo mage control music yao tondu nao makiri biashara-ini na ona ithwe magitige gukiria biashara itu.
Mwaka uyu hihi uluzite tenants igana?
Mwaka uyu ndingiaga tenants moimite ta mugwanja na riu tenant yoima ri ugicaria ungi ona urafocwo ku reduce rent nigetha wone tenant wa nyumba iyo.
Ruhonge ruria rurugamiriire ene irabu na mikawa bururi-ini niruo Barita niruo rigite guthaitha thirikari ndikamahingire irabu na kiraniro kia ati inegene nirikunyihio.
O ithuĩ enyewe no ithuĩ tuikaraga estate icio no ithuĩ twakite kuu no ithuĩ tukomborete kuu koguo nani no nyende ona nyare gukoma ngomera thayo. Koguo inegene riri tukurina ndera kula members aitu ni tukorwo twi patient na inyuĩ mwĩtĩkĩre atĩ inegene rĩrĩ nĩ mũkũrĩnina.
Irabu imwe ta gĩkĩ gĩkũingĩra thĩinĩ waya gwĩciria nĩ andũ mena matawa matũ no nĩ njĩra njerũ ya kũnyihia inegene magĩthema na gũteng'erania na thirikari.
Inafanya kazi yetu ikuwe rahisi na pia tuonyesha heshima kwa serikali sababu waja serikali ni mambo yote. Ukisema sema ifanyike naye uweze fanya kinyume cha sheria zao.
Rwĩmbo rũgĩthakwo nĩ DJ ADI keno maraneo headphones cia gwĩkĩra matũ na mũndũ akanyihia kana akambatiria thauti ũrĩa angĩenda.
To gũkũ kũndũ guothe irabu iroka thĩinĩ wa residence cieherio uhoro wa uko kirabu kiroka gikahandwo kuria andu maikaraga. Ngoria atiriri andu mundu agoka ukagekira kirabu hau ri we kuria ikaraga ri no ende mundu oke amuhuragire inegene hau all night long agikaga mawagani. The point ni ati ni mundu roima kundu deliberately na bata wa guthi guthukia.
Watho wa thirikari ni ugirĩtie irabu kũigwo matũra-inĩ kũrĩa kũrĩ na mũingĩ na rĩu wagwetererwo nĩ kana ene irabu ene manyũmba na thirikari nĩ mekũiguithaniria nĩguo kũiga rĩera rĩega kũrĩ akombori nayo thirikari ĩthondeke igoti rĩrĩa riumanaga biacara-inĩ ici.
We have no problems with bars. We have a problem with nightclubs making noise in residential areas. And you cannot say that there will be job losses. Who is employed to make noise? No, there's no job called making noise. So just reduce the volume. Just switch off at 10. People can continue celebrating. But be considerate. Think about your neighbor. There's one in next to a hospital where families were coming to discharge their patients who are almost going crazy because of noise. Can you just be considerate? We've become competitive to a fault. We only think about profits. Can't we think of the next person? That children cannot sleep or do homework because adults are having fun downstairs.
kaunti ya Nairobi irabu iria ciandĩkithĩtio nĩ 12,000 na thirikari yoyaga igoti rĩa mirioni 90 o mwaka kuma kũrĩ irabu icio. Ngĩribotera Inooro TV, njĩtagwo Wanjiku wa Kimani.
Na kuma kuri riboti iyo ĩgiĩ inegene rĩrĩa rĩrakorwo rĩkiuma irabu-inĩ kwa ihinda rĩrĩ, mwĩroreri nyambe ngũcokie kũrĩa bunge-inĩ ya Senate kũrĩa kamĩtĩ ya mwanya ya maseneta 11 marathiĩ na mbere na gũthikĩrĩria cira wĩgiĩ kũhagũrwo kwa gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza.
Are you aware of any particular disagreement or hatred between the mover of this motion towards, rather expressed by the move of this motion towards the governor?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I've seen scripts before election and after election.
Are you referring to the clip KMS3?
Yes.
Kindly, can we have that clip played? KMS3.
Professor whatever Kawira Mwangaza, if you cannot manage 63 million, my question to the women rep Meru County, Honorable Bishop Professor whatever Kawira Mwangaza, if you cannot manage 63 million GAF funds, can you manage 12 billion? Do you know how a billion is written? You can't.
Is that the move of this motion, Honorable DMK?
Yes.
Thank you. Was that after or before the elections?
Before the election.
Can we now look at KMS18 after the elections? Has changed their mind on their KMS. Thank you. The translation of that video is contained at volume 4, KS18. Mr. Witness, kindly tell us in a summary what is being said in that video and who is uttering those words.
That is the mover of motion, this motion, the impeachment motion, Honorable DMK Kiogora, saying that governor is a thief. She has stolen money from GAF fund and she has used the same to do a building at Makutano. And number two, she is wearing a necklace, as much as she is calling a silver bishop. She is not a bishop, she is fake, but a thief. And they are not ready to listen to her or do anything with her because she is a thief.
Thank you. Last, can we play KMS17? KMS17.
airongo theri yachoche antu against the MCAs na ni urongo utaira Meru yenda gwira Meru nteto icho ngavana obwira icho orongo tenda to jao mairio kwaza kantra antendero nyao mu humiliate on to no tongoria tene kwambira antu pele nteto icho ngavutaira icho orongo tabure te kwa ni urongo bubuon.
The translation is found at page 108 of volume 2. Who is that speaking?
Is Mwenda Idhiri, the Rindo Minority County Assembly of Meru.
The same person who appeared before the Senate to offer evidence?
Yes.
What is he saying?
He is saying that governor is a liar and whatever he has told the Meru people is not true, is false, only that he was not given time, he could elaborate everything.
Thank you. And while we are still at this particular witness, he appeared before the Senate yesterday and talked of being vilified by the governor in his ward. Were you present during that incident?
Yes, I was.
What date was it?
It was on 24th of October, 2022.
What transpired? Rather, why were you in his ward?
We were on an environmental meeting with the governor. Actually, governor was distributing some seed to the farmers in the area.
Was the honorable member invited for that meeting?
Yes, he was.
How was he invited?
He was invited through myself and through the acting CEO, acting chief officer, agriculture.
At what time did the member for the county assembly for that ward appear for the meeting?
Immediately after governor and rose to speak, because I was the master of ceremony of that event, and immediately I handed over the microphone to the governor. That's the time I saw him coming.
He testified that he was present throughout, even before the governor made her speech. Is that correct or not correct?
Not correct.
Not correct. So what transpired when he walked in?
He walked in when governor was speaking, and because of that, governor gave him a mic to speak to the people. But he was standing because protocol deserves that when governor starts speaking, no one else now can speak in the same meeting.
So did he speak to the crowd after the gracious invitation by the governor?
Yes, he tried to speak, but the crowd was against him. Crowd was telling him that he shouldn't apologize for what he has done to the governor.
Is it the governor who called the crowd to boo him, or it was the crowd that demanded for that apology?
It was the crowd. Actually, the governor was trying to control the crowd because the crowd was saying is a must that he apologize. At one point, the governor said, I can apologize for him, but the crowd said, no, let him personally apologize for the deeds that he did to you.
When the person alleges that he was violently hounded out of the stage, did you witness any such hounding off stage by the governor?
I did not.
You did not. So in your witness before this Senate, has any of the allegations against the governor been proved based on the facts that you are aware of?
None that has been proved.
None that has been proved. I think that is all for this witness, Honorable Chair. I hope that I have kept time, unless my learned friend has one or two issues to clarify. I believe we still have the extra 10 minutes that you had promised us.
Yeah, precisely. Your time is now up. So I had given you a bonus of 10 minutes. Take advantage of that. Council.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'll be very brief. Mr. Witness.
Yes.
I want a few issues. I think you dealt with everything. There was a an indication yesterday that EACC has made a determination on a complaint made against the governor. I want you to confirm whether you are aware of any determination by EACC.
I'm not aware.
There is also an allegation of a violation of the public finance management laws. I would like you to inform this committee. Not prepared any budget. How are you spending if any is being spent?
The governor, the budget that was passed in the previous regime, the budget of the year 2022-2023.
Are you aware of any expenditure the governor has expended without the approval of the county assembly?
I'm not aware.
Not aware.
Yeah.
Is there, to the best of your knowledge, does the governor have control of the beginning and the end of the budget cycle or process in a county?
No.
Who are the other entities involved?
The members of the county assembly.
To the best of your knowledge, has the governor ignored any of those institutions in the budget-making process?
No.
No. Another financial impropriety was in respect to Meru Referral Hospital. First of all, tell us, is there any structure that manages that hospital?
Yes.
What's the nature of the structure?
There is an act of the county assembly of Meru that was passed, and now Meru General Hospital is a SAGAS, or a semi-autonomous body, managing its own affairs with a board of directors, a board of management, as the situation that is at Kenyatta National Hospital, the same with other institutions that are within Meru County. But it is managing its own funds and its own budget, its own activities.
Look at our volume 2, the governor's bundle of documents, at page 161 of volume 2. You can see the document there?
Yes.
What's that document?
That is the Meru teaching and referral board and the matters connecting to the bill that I talked about.
And the following page, what is the description?
It is administrative provisions.
At the beginning, is that the county act of county assembly you are referring to?
Yes.
Thank you. Has the governor directed expenditure of any money outside that framework?
No.
Is the governor a player in that hospital?
No.
Does she have any control in that hospital?
No.
There are allegations that have been made of demeaning and vilifying public leaders in Meru County. And they are cited in the charge number B. Some of them you have alluded to. Have you seen the governor vilify any public leader?
No.
How would you describe the interaction between the governor and other public leaders in Meru County?
It is a good working relationship.
There was a ward administrator in one of the markets you visited, and you alluded to earlier on. What's the name of that ward administrator?
Mwenda. He's called Mwenda, sub-county administrator, Mkwene Mitugu.
In his affidavit, he says he cooperates and coordinates county affairs.
It's true.
How do you describe that working relationship with the governor?
It is good.
Is he also a leader in the county?
No.
A ward administrator who coordinates county affairs. Is he a leader in the county?
Yes.
There were allegations made about the first gentleman of the county and his words he has uttered. Can that be a criminal responsibility attributable to the governor, to the best of your knowledge?
No, they cannot be.
Is there anything else you would like to explain briefly that you have missed out?
Something small
Yes.
that I need to explain. There is let me call it a confusion, because our governor was a philanthropic even before the election, even before she became the Women Rep Meru County, and she was running a program called Okoa Kana Kameru, Saindia Mtoto wa Meru, and she has been able to have many people that she has been employing using her money to that program. And there is a lot of confusion that those people that she employs in every place are referred to as county government employees, whereas they are not county government employees, to run the program that she has been running as an individual, not as the governor of Meru County, including the first gentleman, who is now the head of that team as the ambassador of the Asoras of Meru County.
Thank you very much. The first gentleman, before the governor became a governor or woman rep, you were told that he was a cultural ambassador.
It's true.
Who appointed him the cultural ambassador of Meru County?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
Yeah.
Does he have any other activities?
Your time is up. 2 more minutes. Close up.
Does he have any other activities he has engaged in that promote image, the first gentleman, in an independent capacity?
Yes.
Such as?
Asian, and as much MC of some functions, and we have been using him as the MC in our functions before governor was elected in Meru County.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman, that's all for this witness. We yield the witness and for cross-examination.
Welcome. Time to cross-examine. Dr. Muyomi, you have 1 hour and a half.
Chair, there is an emerging procedural issue we crave your leave to raise before we begin the cross-examination of the witness. And the issue is as follows.
Go ahead.
The governor has chosen perfectly within her rights that she will not give evidence. And whereas that's within her rights, and she can't be faulted for it, we find ourselves at a disadvantage. And the disadvantage is as follows. The governor has had ample time to challenge our case and our evidence, and specifically to challenge the evidence of the mover of the motion. Our problem is, even as she exercises her right not to take to the witness stand, She has filed before you several affidavits, one of them by herself, some of them 3 or 4 others, by persons who will not also be taken to the witness stand. By law, those affidavits are part of your record. By law, those affidavits are evidence. The whole essence of an affidavit is that it is sworn evidence in writing. To the extent that these people are not being called to testify and specifically to be cross-examined, we run the distinct disadvantage that whereas the governor's side has had the ample opportunity to challenge all our witnesses by way of cross-examination, we deny an equal opportunity. Chair, you just said for the goose is good for the gander. Now, our problem, Chair, is we can't force persons who are unwilling to testify to take the witness stand. But I also understand, whereas the decision the governor and the deponents of those affidavits have made is perfectly within their rights, the decision they took is not to give evidence in chief. We would want it to be clear from the record that we are making an application to cross-examine the governor and our witnesses on the deposition set out in those affidavits. Of course, Chair, they can still choose. They don't want to avail themselves for that cross-examination. If they choose, they have already chosen they don't want to give evidence in chief, perfectly within their rights. But if they also choose that they don't want to be cross-examined, and we are making the application under Rule 10 of your rules, that they be called so that we cross-examine them. They are not obliged to accede to that request here, but it should be clear on the record that they are not amenable to be cross-examined, so that in our closing statements, then we'll crave your leave to address you on the implications. Because if that issue is not addressed, you remain with our evidence thoroughly challenged, which is okay, but the evidence taken for gospel truth without the opportunity on our part to show the gaps, to show the contradictions, hopefully some falsehoods, and in short, it will not be a fair trial. This is a trial. The Senate is sitting as a trial chamber. So let them confirm to you. We already have their confirmation that these persons will not testify. But let them also confirm to you for the record whether they also don't want to be cross-examined, so that we close that matter and then I can proceed with the business at hand.
Would you like to indicate precisely on what it is you would like to cross-examine the governor? Because he has given a lot of evidence. Are you telling the chair that you want to cross-examine her on her affidavit?
On her affidavit, Chair, and her formal response to the case, because she has filed before you a response to the motion. She has also filed before you an affidavit, which is evidence. We are entitled, of course, subject to what you decide, but by law, we are entitled to test that evidence and every position she has taken in that response and in that affidavit. And it's not just our chair. There are several other people whose affidavits are also on your record on our side. So to answer your question, Chair, we want to cross-examine her on everything set out in our response and specifically in our affidavit, together with those other affidavits of other witnesses. But she this, and I've to tell you that she's not a mentor. At the end of the day, you cannot force anyone to testify, and even if you do, nothing useful can come from someone you're forcing to speak if they don't want to testify on their own case.
Yes, counsel for the governor, we shall hear you.
Thank you, Chair. We object to that application being made by my learned friend, Dr. Liankolu. One, for the simple reason that he admits that indeed there is no requirement in law that a governor or any accused person appearing before such a committee can be coerced or forced to testify. That is in the rules, and it would be against her right to fair hearing to compel her to utter even one word against her wish. The rules governing these proceedings, Honorable Chair, require the governor to elect means within which she will appear before this committee. She has done exactly that by indicating that she will be represented by counsel who are on record and have done exactly that. So we cannot offer the governor for cross-examination when she has not tendered any oral evidence before the committee. It will be a prejudice on her part, and we risk being accused of violating her rights to fair hearing. Even in normal criminal proceedings, Honorable Chair, any accused person, whether accused of murder, robbery, or any other offense, cannot be forced to testify. They have a right to even remain silent and have the court infer any inference of our silence. What needs to be done is for the prosecutor of this motion to table evidence. Ours is to challenge and punch holes on that evidence, and that's exactly what we have done. The governor's voice has been heard through our advocates. It would be a violation of our right to put her on this stand to be cross-examined against her wish when she has not offered herself for that exercise. Secondly, the affidavits that are on record were supplied to learned counsel. We did indicate, in compliance with your rules, how many witnesses we intend to rely on. That was not objected. When we were introducing these affidavits, we did not at any time indicate that we would call this as witnesses, for the simple reason that the witness we've just brought here, we believe is a wholesome witness who is able to cover all the allegations that have been leveled against the governor, having personally witnessed and having personal knowledge of all the issues that are contained in the motion. Those affidavits merely corroborate what the witness has confirmed of events that he attended personally and has personal knowledge of. Those other witnesses would not really be so much useful to this committee because they are only meant to collaborate the evidence on record. But for the record, let me say this. Save for the governor, we are willing for the other witnesses to be summoned by this committee for cross-examination. We have nothing to hide. We are only trying to be considerate on the issues of time, but should this for these witnesses to be brought, then we can have them subject to convenience of time. We have no. Unless I've left out anything, my learned friend can. Thank you. He says there is nothing I've left out. That is all, Honorable Chair.
I think then it is clear for purposes of the record, because for us we only wanted.
Order. Relax, completely. You've made your application. Yes, you have invited your colleague to say something?
Honorable Chair, thank you.
Just hold. Proceed, sir.
Honorable Chair, thank you. There are only 3 issues I wanted to raise. I think the application by my land, because it's in the course of would have allowed us to complete this witness. He could examine this witness on any issue, because we said this is a wholesome witness who would cover anything and everything. And he demonstrated which evidence this witness was not able to rescue upon cross-examination. At that juncture, he would have every cloud even to demonstrate to this committee which issues he would like clarified, and he would like this committee to benefit from the evidence of any other witness. Then, other issue I would like to emphasize is that when we saw the issues of time and knowing what can happen, we decided to just get one witness. So the governor has planned her case from filing a response and affidavits, as well as fielding a witness who can attest to all those affidavits. The counsel for the county assembly indicates in exact precision that he would like to cross-examine even on the response filed by the governor. This response is not a testimony of the governor. It is a pleading or a document signed by the advocates for the governor. So even at that juncture, we'll have a complication whether it's the advocate who proceeds to the start to be cross-examined. That's what we are saying. All matters in the response and all the affidavits, and it is a repository of oral evidence. The most county assembly can do is, and the evidence in those affidavits have been corroborated and it's not reliable. And this witness cannot verify that. Or the other witnesses who have also testified by their affidavits cannot verify that affidavit. Once we get to that point, this committee would consider how else can it be able to verify the challenged or the impeached evidence by the governor. And Honorable Chairman, this motion was brought by the County Assembly. They have the duty to discharge the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt before the evidential burden shifts to the County Assembly, the governor. That's my contribution, Chair.
Thank you. I see a red light there. Yes, Council, you are.
My name is Abdikadir.
We now know you. Lead Counsel. The intention to invite Advocate Abdikadir to address us.
Chair, you can indulge him, but at the risk of not taking too much time, I said all we needed in making this request was that they are not amenable to have the governor cross-examine. We are not even asking you to make a decision on the matter, because they have the right to choose. But that right has certain legal consequences, which we will address you on, and we don't want at that time to be accused of the ambush. So we have already had the position that they are not amenable to have the governor cross-examined on affidavit. And since that's all we wanted to go on record, the matter is resolved. So I can continue if you
Okay, I've heard you.
But you can hear my friend Abdikadir.
I've heard you. Before I invite your colleague to come, are you really being fair to us? Are you attempting to play mind games? You make an application, we listen to it, and before we make a determination, you then make your own determination, and you say that to be reflected in the record. The least, Council, be humble, Council. You are not the only person in the least you can do, you put your case. Your colleagues have responded. Allow me to fall back to my team they'll make an input. And if their determination agrees with what you want to be the determination, then be it. If it doesn't, then raise hell. Don't play mind games with us. Common sense.
Came out like I'm playing mind games with the Senate. The only reason I said the statement that seems to have caught you the wrong way is I acknowledge the governor has a certain legal right. She can choose not to take. So even as I make my application, I must be cognizant that she has that right. Yes.
Dr. Mudomi, this House has a long history of a tradition of discharging business. Here, the standard practice is that once you bring a matter to the attention of a committee or the entire Parliament, that matter ceases being your matter. It becomes the property of the House. So your application has since become the property of this committee. You will bear with us. We make a deliberation and a decision will be made quickly. Yes, Ahmed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the rules when...
Sorry, Abdikader.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. The rules said once the lawyers on each side were introduced, I thought we had the audience.
Abdikader, I want you to introduce yourself and confirm that you are on the list of advocates on this matter. Once you do that, you'll address us. Please, introduce yourself in full.
My name is Abdikadir Sheikh, appearing with a doctor for the Assembly members.
Yes, second part?
Second part.
Are you on the list of advocates?
I think I'm in the list, yes. And when we started the hearing, I was here the first day.
I'm not being harsh. It's just that if from 24th up to now, we've not come up.
I could help you, Chair. Abdikadir joined our team after we had already. If you check your answer of yesterday, I had already introduced him as part of my team. But he is not in the original list, so that we don't spend time calling.
You introduced him on the Hansard yesterday.
Yes.
So, Secretariat, without wasting time, you will confirm on Hansard if Abdikadir is one of the councils. He will be allowed to address us. If subsequently we find that he is not one of you, everything that he will have said, we shall strike it out. Abdikadir?
Thank you, Chairman. I wanted to comment on brief comments made by the Council for the Governor. Of course, the committee and that this committee is not sitting as an appellate. An impeachment of a governor has got two processes. It starts with the Assembly and it comes to Senate. Since this is an investigative committee to confirm the allegations, the analogy given by my learned friend, like if it is a strict court, absolutely it's not. I support the friend that it's only fair. Everybody help the should do so. The comment I want to make that they have the right not to say anything. It is different from a court setting. It is investigative. That's all I wanted to say, my Chairman.
Your point is made. Colleagues, I now fall back to you. First light. I have seen a light from Sifuna.
Yeah, Chairman, as I understand the rules, if you look at Rule 10, it says the committee may, at the request of the County Assembly or the Governor, invite or summon any person to appear and give evidence before the committee. But, in my understanding of that rule, all we need is a request from either the council, from the assembly, or from the governor that they would want somebody summoned, and you and the committee would have the powers to summon that person. As to whether that person intends to participate in these proceedings or not, Mr. Chair, you will see that under Rule 11, there is the option of the county assembly or the governor choosing not to appear before this committee. And my learned colleague here has said that persons under the Constitution have the right to remain silent. My only question to counsel for the governor is, what is silence? I mean, silence does not mean speaking orally only. If you have filed affidavits before a committee such as this or a court of law, that is you speaking. That is not you maintaining silence. And it cannot be fair to the other side that you file affidavits upon which they do not get opportunity to cross-examine. The way to test the veracity of matters that have been set out in an affidavit is through cross-examination. So the question to counsel would be, what is the committee supposed to do with these affidavits that have been filed by the governor in the absence of opportunity for the assembly to be able to cross-examine that evidence before the committee? Lastly, Mr. Chair, I know my learned colleagues know a rule of evidence concerning documents called the best evidence rule, that in fact, Chair, as long as the higher or superior evidence is in possession of a party or may be reached by the party, no inferior proof will be allowed. My colleagues know what I am talking about. In the hierarchy of witnesses, I know you said that you selected these witnesses having considered the factor of time. I am just wondering, counsel, in the hierarchy of witnesses, who is the superior witness between your who is actually facing those accusations? I would want some answers on those questions so that we can guide the committee on how we proceed. I thank you, Chair.
Chair. The Senator of Washington Gishu, Senator Mandako.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Senator Sifuna said, Chair, in rule number 24, 1A, the governor who has been called as a witness by the county assembly or by the governor, or C, a person who is invited or summoned to appear and give evidence shall give evidence to the Senate. The Chairman, in this case, Chair, the accused is not the Chief of Staff. And in my considered opinion, Chair, it is actually an opportunity for the governor to be cross-examined on affidavit, just to test the veracity of the information that is in the affidavit. And I think it just follows what the Senator for Nairobi said, Chair. I don't know what that Rule 24, maybe the councils in the House can help us understand.
Thank you. I have seen the light by Senator Esther.
Thank you, Chair. My concern is further to what Senator Sifuna was saying as to whether the witness evidence is sufficient is up to you to determine. But the governor being the wearer of the shoe, surely this would have been a good opportunity. And I thought if she's not going to speak, there should be an equalization mechanism to compensate that. I'm saying this because the mover of this motion was heard orally. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. I have seen my Vice Chair.
Chair, I was also a bit concerned when the Chief of Staff is the one giving evidence for the governor, because if we have any questions directed to the governor, will he be able to answer them on our behalf? I thought it would be better for her to answer the questions just to clear everything and for us all to have clear evidence and to be able to write everything that we need and to hear also from her.
Senator Tobiko.
Chair, I want to put it in another perspective.
Chair, as the Council for the County Assembly said yesterday, this is a quasi-judicial process because we are not strictly, as in the sense of the word, at the courts. Because if it was, a court process, you would have been across the road. This chamber is, the Senate is quasi-judicial because it's also a political process, Chair. And Chair, my feeling is that, of course, the governor could choose to be represented by her councils. But Chair, for the satisfaction of everybody, the prime candidate here is the governor. And Chair, I mean, it would be best if there is a way, even in silence, for the governor to take the stand so that she's not only cross-examined by the councils, but so that we are also availed the opportunity to directly engage the governor, even if it is in silence.
Thank you, the Governor.
Thank you very much, Chair.
The former Governor of Mandera and the Senator of Mandera, the current.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Now that an application has been made and our attention drawn, provisions of Rule 10, and considering how the County Assembly matter has been executed yesterday, it will only be fair, and the option not to exercise has been already superseded by, had already been drawn by the governor. It will only be fair to us as a Senate and this special committee to be able to interrogate the evidence, and the County Assembly to be able to interrogate the evidence better by the governor availing herself, and the committee has the mandate for that matter. My request is the Chief of Staff, as the key witness for the governor, may not be able to substantively deal with issues to do with position or responsibility of the governor, upon which is in question, and her impeachment is what we are executing today. It is only fair, if the request is made, that the governor avails herself. And the Chair, my request is we deliberate and you give a ruling on the same. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Senator Tangwa.
Mr. Speaker, as I said yesterday, I'm not a lawyer. So allow me to argue like a layman. Mr. Speaker, all I understand is we have the accuser and the accused.
Chair, it's a matter of procedure. Can the Senator for Kiambu address you as the Chair, not Mr. Speaker?
All right. Thank you. Chair, Mr. Chair.
Senator Mandago, relax. It is normal to have a slip of the tongue, but in any case, sometimes I can be so imposing that the young Thangwa sees a speaker in me.
Yeah.
Thangwa, can you proceed?
Yeah, probably. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about, all I see is an accuser and the accused. The governor is the accused. The accuser was the mover of the motion. And I believe the accuser was to come with the witnesses. And so the governor herself should also come with her witnesses. So she must stand on the dock. And the moment we started this hearing, the charges were read. and she pleaded not guilty. So how come now the governor cannot stand on the dock to be cross-examined on what she pleaded not guilty? Mr. Speaker, I remember yesterday, and I'm trying to help the council from the governor's side, because now I've started reading mischief. We were doing well. Everything was going on well. But yesterday, I remember there was a Catholic priest. And Mr. Speaker, he said he was here because of how he felt, because of his feelings. I'm trying to imagine the gentleman standing here is also here because of how he's feeling about the governor. So do you want me to judge the governor from how the gentleman feels? So I urge, and I would want to assist the side of the governor. The governor is accused. And the issue here is more egocentric than constitutional. We would want to hear, we are here to see, maybe we must start judging the governor. That's the way she is. She doesn't talk to people. She doesn't want even to hear. I don't want to do that now. But I'm trying to help the side of the governor. The accused should stand there so that we can ask those questions. She's seen on TV making utterances, roadside declarations, and then you tell us to examine a chief officer who is not even per se a civil servant. It's more of an organizer of a government, the caretaker, I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So, Mr. Speaker, for this House to be taken, Chairperson, for this House to be taken with the seriousness it deserves, the governor must stand on the dock.
Thank you. I think the final submission is from the Senator of Lamu.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to agree with other members that it is the governor that the 62 accusations has been leveled against her. And in fact, the governor was elected by the good people of Meru. They are watching. They want to hear how the governor is going to exonerate herself from all the claims that has been leveled against her. So it is in all manner of good faith that we want to demand that the governor stand and tell us what she has so that we can be able to do a proper determination as the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, okay.
I think that I will start with the side of the Governor's Council. Article 50 of the Constitution, of course, is very clear. And I think that the Governor's Council was drawing us to Article 50I. And we respect that. For the purpose of this committee, however, Chair, if I got the Council of the County Assembly right, the Council is not battling with Article 50 of the Constitution. However, the Council wants us to take a note that should we choose as a committee not to have the governor being examined by the Council of the County Assembly, then the Council is being clever and telling us that there will be legal consequences in terms of when they're making their final submission. I think I took a very serious note to that, to the extent that under the standing orders of this particular House, the Senate, I think it is standing order number, it is actually under the third schedule, number 11, Chair, is in congruence with what the legal counsel, or the Council of the County Assembly is talking about. And I'll read it. Where the County Assembly or the Governor chooses not to appear before the Senate, that fact shall be put on record, and the Senate shall proceed with its investigation without further references to the Assembly or the Governor, but the Senate may, for exceptional reasons to be recorded, permit a later appearance before the Senate by the Assembly or the Governor. My caution, Chair, is that should we leave the leeway for the Council of the County Assembly to make pronouncements after we have finished the proceedings on this particular matter, then that complicates our own investigations. And because of that, I want to finally say that, Chair, if you look at volume 1 of the document submitted by the Governor's team, I think it is page 47. The Governor concludes by making 66 statements, and that affidavit particularly isn't signed by the Governor's Council. It is signed by the Governor herself. To that extent, based on those 3 overarching perspectives that I've brought, I think it will be critical that we accept the application by the Council so that justice is served for everyone. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Whereas, Council for the County Assembly, your application looked light, but given the interest and the unanimity on the part of the senators in supporting your application, I'm forced to make a reasonable decision. But before I make it, allow me to discharge 2 things. The first thing, the Senator of Migori. Allow your views on Standing Order number 11. If you go back to it, not Standing Order, on the rules of procedure, number 11. Number 11 only applies in the event the Governor had refused to appear. She has come. So let that one rest. The second thing I want to discount is to the Governor's Council. Please address me so that we go and write something which is reasonable. Address me on this. Are you aware to no other person other than your client? If, as it is, take the witness stand, are you aware it waters down David? If, having said what she has said here, she took the stand and responded to these questions, it strengthens her case. Are you aware? Please address me before I ask the Council to also address me.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, for that question. Indeed, I am aware of those sentiments. And just to discount some of the fears from the honourable members, the Governor has nothing to fear. The Governor had not refused to tender evidence. It was just because of the way we all the evidence that all the other witnesses would have brought before this Senate on the justification that this particular witness was personally available and attended all those functions where the Governor is accused of uttering certain words and violating the law in the course of making those words. But having heard the sentiments of the committee, we have consulted with our client, and the client has agreed to be cross-examined on the ground of the basis of the affidavit that she has brought before this court. But then we are also begging for time to to re-examine and fix any loopholes or punches that might have thrown away during cross-examination. So we are amenable to that request. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before that, Chair, sorry to cut you. So we request that then we have this witness dispensed with after cross-examination and re-examination. Then we can have the governor come in, after which we shall beg for 20 to 30 minutes to prepare the governor, considering that she had not prepared the eventuality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that our records reflects men and women, let us conclude this by allowing the governors, the county assembly senator to also address me. I'll speak to the issues you have raised. You address me on the following.
Chair,
on the following.
Yes.
You address me on the following.
Yes, Chair.
On the following. I'm here to tell you what I would like you to address, so that it helps us to look neat and reasonable. I'm drawing your attention to Article 50, Sub-Article 2.
Chair, on a point of order. Chair, point of order. I'm being asked on a humanitarian witness to sit as we dispense. He's looking like he can exit these proceedings. Chair.
In fact, he's the most important person in the room. So please, witness, you take your seat for the time being. Thank you, the Senator of Nairobi. This is why you are the Senator of Nairobi, the county of everybody. Yes. Council, I want to draw your attention to Article 50, Sub-Article 2, L, which I read. This Constitution is alive 24/7, and it is never suspended. What would you do if I declined your request on the strength that the Constitution gives this governor the right in L to refuse, I'm reading, quote, to refuse to give self-incriminating evidence? Address me on that one, then I'll discharge what you have applied for, Council for Governor, and we proceed.
Chair, the rule against self-incrimination is a rule that governs criminal proceedings. The proceedings before the Senate are neither criminal nor civil. This position, and my colleagues can confirm this, has been affirmed in several decisions emanating from this Senate. One of them is the case of Justice Kariuki Nyaga,
to proceed. These consultations are very useful.
Fair enough, Chair. So I was saying, impeachment proceedings, though quasi-judicial, are not analogous to civil proceedings in the High Court or any other court. Neither are they analogous to criminal proceedings before the ordinary courts, which is to say, the essence of the process we are going through is not to ultimately find the governor of any civil liability or any criminal culpability. And I was therefore telling you that position has been litigated in virtually every impeachment proceeding that has come before this Senate, and the constant decision of the Supreme Court. I'm only mentioning two because they should be in our volume 2 of our Bado. the constant position from the Supreme Court is that those proceedings are neither civil nor criminal, and they should not be treated as forums for attributing civil liability. And I think that dispenses of another issue that has been coming up before you, which is, why hasn't so-and-so complained? Why are you complaining on his behalf? Those decisions, I said, are in the decision about the impeachment of Mike Sonko, who was impeached by this House, and the Supreme Court affirmed that impeachment. The same position, Chair, can be found from another decision of the Supreme Court in a case called Justice Kariuki Nyaga versus Martin Wambora Nyaga, or rather Justice Kariuki Mate versus Martin Wambora Nyaga, and it should, unless I'm mistaken, also be in our volume 2, but at any rate, I am aware, I'm told, Chair, it is at volume 2, at page 69, the case of Martin, that is Supreme Court petition number 32 of 2014. And I just told you the same position is reiterated. So to your specific question, therefore, the governor cannot be heard to say, if I ask her a question in cross-examination, she cannot be heard to tell you, I will refuse to answer that question because I run the risk of self-incrimination. While still on the matter, Chair, it is basic law, and all my colleagues will agree, that proceedings before a body like yours are privileged. Anything a witness says in this chamber cannot later on be used as the basis for prosecuting them for a criminal offense or for incurring civil liability. That is the whole essence. And it's not just the witness. Even anything any senator says, the reason it is privileged, Chair, is so that the witness will have the absolute comfort to tell you the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, without the fear that the answers they give you. From the Supreme Court decision of Sonko, Chair, the relevant paragraph is at page 158 of volume 2 of our documents, page 158, and the paragraph is 148. That was just pointed to me. So, Chair, it is not open to any witness in proceedings such as those before you to refuse to answer a question on the ground that the answer to that question, if given, would incriminate them, because they enjoy absolute privilege for utterances made before the Senate. But they have the right, by the article you cited, one of the paragraphs in Article 50, they have the right to refuse to give evidence.
Thank you, Counsel. I'm glad and happy that you have addressed me. Members, we have a witness who is the star witness, and therefore he's going to demand for a lot of attention from all of you. It will take quite a bit of time. So if I allow that we conclude his case, then we shall require to we want to break to make a decision on this one, then we'll require to break again to go and prepare the governor to come and take the witness stand. I think those too many projects will waste too much time. So I want to request, Counsel for the Governor, you kill two birds with one stone. We're going to break. The decision concerning this is being made now. And then during that time, you do what you would have done in the second breakout.
Chair.
So what is the decision?
Chair, just a minute.
Yes.
I don't understand the necessity of a break to make a decision.
No, I'm making a decision now. I'm making the decision now. Yeah. The decision we want to make was going to be difficult and maybe academic if the position of the governor was that she was not taking the stand. But because she has agreed, we congratulate her for being cooperative and look forward to her on the witness stand. For now, I want to request we adjourn. We give everybody 1 hour. During that, you grab a bite, and during that 1 hour, prepare your governor for the forthcoming interventions. Thank you, members.
Adjournment. The committee with the two parties are taking a break. This should serve as a lunch break, at the same time a 1 hour break before they come back for the next proceeding. We understand that once they come back, the governor of Meru County, Kawira Mwangaza, will be taking the witness stand. Of course, this is after an application by from the legal team of the county assembly. Thereafter, both parties will be making their final remarks. Remember, this is day 2 of the proceedings, and today is when they will be concluding everything before the committee retreats to make a report and table it before.
Ino ni shesheni ya Inoro TV.
Deakin College, ino noyo college yemwe tu Kenya ngima ikoragwe specialized na kothi cia beauty and fashion hamwe na hospitality.
Deakin College, training beyond the obvious.
Training beyond the obvious.
Iga ugima wa mwiri waku wega thiini wa uria ndagitari.
Losses ni tumaga andu magena wounds. Ciumaga relationships itarathie uria kwagiriire.
Kunogora mwiri waku. Mataro ma gwifacirira mirimo kuma kwi mandagitari.
Mwaka utathirite mutumia ni arwara shukari, ni arwara pressure.
Uthome njira cia kwimenyerera na guikaria mwiri waku wina hinya. Ndukahitũkwo nĩ tabarĩra ya uria ndagitari thĩinĩ wa View Sasa na ufacĩrĩre ũgima wa mwĩrĩ waku wega.
Niliacha nimu akitusumbua akipata 30% marks. Nani amefunza mtoto mdogo kuibia mpaka anapata 90?
Hatuko mahali ulituacha kama sikio. Tulishagundua siri. Ni tamu.
Kwani unga imepika hiyo ugali imewekwa nini? Imagine imenichangamsha mwili mpaka akili.
Unga wa Bingwa Premium ndio siri.
Dad, tangu tuanze kupika unga wa Bingwa Premium, mimi na bro tumekuwa mabingwa kwa njia zote. Bingwa ni tamu, siri ya mabingwa.
Bingwa Premium Maize Meal kutoka Graden Millers Limited, watengenezaji wa unga wa mahindi wa Wema na Bingwa ngano. Bingwa Premium Maize Meal, siri ya mabingwa wote.
Cascade Institute of Hospitality ni njori wa hari uthomithia wa kothi cia hospitality na tourism na ni kondo kwega gwa guthomera na kwina rutani qualified. Cukuru uyu ni uhetũkĩtio ni ruhonge rwa kimabũrũri ni ruo Confederation of Tourism and Hospitality CTH ruria ruheanaga diploma na certificate courses itambũrĩkanĩte thĩinĩ wa theta hospitality management, culinary arts, pastry and baking na tourism. Arutwo a Cascade Institute of Hospitality ni makoretwo makiandĩkwo mawĩra ni Celebrity Cruise Ships ta the Royal Caribbean na MSC. Dimo ne 0703 777 Kanitha wa Christian Foundation Fellowship Bunyala Road Nairobi uria tongoragio ni muthikafu munene Dr. Harrison K. Ng'ang'a na mutumia wake Reverend Lucy ni marakunyita ugeni kesha-inĩ nene ya kurugia mwaka wa 2023. Kesha no igakorwo kiharo-inĩ gĩa Kasarani kwambĩrĩria thinacara cia hwaĩ-inĩ kinya thinacara cia rũcinĩ. Menyithia mũrata waku na akĩamenyithia mũrata wake.
Waithira iki wanogerera uguo nyumete kuona gaburoti wa John wakwa rangũrĩire nona kaĩ gũkĩrĩ bara
Azani Properties.
Ni dia miguda. Na kule marakwenderia kwina mae, kwina thitima, kwina kanitha, kwina mashukuru.
No wana haha thika. Nyita barabara gatarudi. Heto kala address. Hau heta gosara ma. Na kwa mugona na gude pota paraite.
Miguda turamede gina thogora wa shiringi 600 ma 50. Turamede nake. 600 magongo. Edano. Kale ure. Togimonera ko.
Ndwario na aria nene hari.
Ithuĩ twĩtagwo Zani Properties Limited, koragwo kũrĩa Capital One Plaza bypass ya Kamakis, na ũtũcerera wabici-inĩ citũ kana ũtũhũrĩre thimũ namba 0711 082 526. Zani Properties Limited, kũigithia na tĩri tigũte.
Shabiki.com inakuletea the first ever Premier Leagues jackpot in Kenya. Predict mechi 6 kutoka ligi kuu duniani kwa kutumia shilingi 8 tu uweze kushinda 100,000 shillings kila siku. 6 Premier Leagues games. Cheza na 8 ball. Shinda 100k daily. Tuma neno PJP kwa 29063 or visit shabiki.com to play. Not for persons under the age of 18. Betting can be addictive. Play responsibly. Shabiki.com is authorized and regulated by the BCLB. License number 416. Shabiki.com.
Mona visa ya le mwetene agire leo ciarwo kana gakai wega corona wathani cia ndene ciako
na riu no wigwatire rwimbo rwa muhonokia tarugambi thimu-ini yaku no undu muhuthu oya thimu yaku hihinya *812 *789# ndukariganirwo Inoro ni mucii wa aini othe.